All right, so Hermes Agent OS just showed up and is going head to head with ChatGPT Computer Use. And honestly, the scoreboard is not what I expected. Across 4 tests, every single dimension ended in a tie, and I'll show you exactly why that number tells a bigger story than it looks. Agentic tools are moving really, really fast right now, and picking the wrong one costs you real money and real time. So I'm comparing Hermes Agent OS versus ChatGPT Computer Use across 4 real tests, pulling from 6 source documents, no vendor spin, just what the data actually says. One of these tools you can run today for $0, and the other one you literally can't access yet, but which one actually wins for you is not as obvious as that sounds. So stick around. So this one's for developers and teams who are actually trying to build agentic workflows right now, not in 6 months. If you're deciding whether to self-host an open source orchestrator or wait on OpenAI's GUI agent, you need to know what's real and what's just marketing, because that decision affects your stack, your budget, and honestly how much time you waste waiting on a wait list. Test 1 is autonomous multi-step task completion. And this is the one that matters most if you're trying to get an agent to actually do work while you're offline. We're talking competitor research, content gap analysis, Reddit scrapes, all running on a schedule without you babysitting it. And if a tool can't do this reliably, it's not really an agent. Okay, so here's what we got. Hermes Agent OS has community-reported multi-agent coordination, Kanban tracking, cron-style scheduling, the whole thing. But keep in mind, these are blog reports, not formal benchmarks. ChatGPT Computer Use, zero source data on this dimension, literally nothing published. So you're looking at one side of the screen with data and one side that's blank. So this one's a tie and not a flattering one. Hermes has community-reported capabilities, but no formal accuracy scores like Gaia or Web Arena exist for either product. And you can't score what isn't published, which puts us at 0 wins each, 1 tied, and honestly, the scoreboard is going to keep looking like this. So take that with a grain of salt. Now I want to be honest here. The evidence is totally asymmetric, and that's what's driving the tie, not some equivalence in actual capability. Hermes has community blogs describing real workflows. ChatGPT Computer Use has OpenAI's brand. And those are very different things. So your use case determines which one actually matters more to you right now. Test 2 is API access and developer customization depth. And if you're a developer, this one's really, really important because it determines whether you're locked into one provider or whether you can actually build something custom. And the difference between a black box and an open tool you can extend is massive when you're automating real workflows. So Hermes Agent OS is fully open source, Next.js and Tailwind, locally hosted, and community reports say you can add a custom scale in roughly 1 hour by pasting GitHub API docs into the dashboard, and it routes through Claude, Grok, OWL Alpha, Open Router, basically any model. ChatGPT, Computer Use, no sourced SDK data, no rate limit docs, nothing published. Another tie, and again, it's because you can't compare something against nothing. Hermes has real, community-confirmed customization depth. ChatGPT Computer Use has no published developer specs at all, so the scoreboard stays at 0 wins apiece. 2 tests tied now, and Hermes clearly has more to show here, but a tie is a tie when the other side won't publish data. That said, the nuance here is real. Hermes being open source is genuinely great if you have the DevOps skills to run it, but if you don't, that 1 hour skill build time means nothing because you're still standing up a Next.js deployment first, and ChatGPT Computer Use's lack of published API docs might just mean it's not open to developers yet. Not that it can't do it. Test 3 is cost per task execution at scale. And this one matters a lot because agentic tools running hundreds of tasks a day can get expensive really fast. And if you're budgeting for a team, you need actual numbers, not vibes. Because the difference between $0 and $300 a month is a real decision, not a rounding error. Hermes Agent OS has a community-confirmed $0 per month base path using OWL Alpha via Open Router, which is pretty interesting. And community estimates put running separate tools like ChatGPT plus Claude plus other tooling at around $300 plus per month versus that $0 baseline. But keep in mind that's a community estimate, not a third-party audit, and ChatGPT Computer Use has 0 published pricing for agentic tasks. Tie again, 3 for 3 now, 0 wins each, and I know Hermes looks like the obvious winner on cost, but without verified per-task pricing from either side, I can't hand out a point. Because the $0 base path is real and community confirmed, but the paid API path just says pennies per task with no specific figure, and that's not enough to score. Honestly though, the cost story for Hermes is pretty compelling even without hard numbers. Because if you are already comfortable self-hosting, the $0 base path with OWL Alpha is a real option today. And the problem is ChatGPT Computer Use might end up totally free inside a plan you already pay for. And we just don't know yet because they haven't published anything. S4 is error recovery and self-correction. And this is the one that separates a toy from a real production tool. Because when an agent hits a wall mid-task, does it fix itself, flag it, or just silently fail? And if you're running workflows overnight, you need to know the answer before you wake up to a mess. Hermes Agent OS has community-reported live status indicators, idle, working, paused, per agent, plus persistent conversation history that survives reloads, and an Obsidian memory vault for context continuity across sessions, but no automated retry or rollback mechanism is documented anywhere. And ChatGPT Computer Use has no sourced data on this dimension at all, so neither product has published formal error recovery rates. And that wraps the scoreboard at 0 wins for Hermes Agent OS, 0 wins for ChatGPT Computer Use, all 4 tests tied. Because this last one's a tie because Hermes shows you where things stall on a Kanban board, but still needs a human to fix it. And ChatGPT Computer Use published nothing. So visibility on a board is a genuinely different thing from actual self-correction. I think the Obsidian memory layer is actually pretty underrated here because persistent context across sessions means agents don't start cold every time, which reduces a whole class of errors before they happen. And it's genuinely useful, even though it's not the same as an automated retry loop. And whether ChatGPT Computer Use handles this better under the hood, we honestly just can't know yet. So here's where Hermes Agent OS clearly wins. It's free and open source, $0 per month with OWL Alpha. Community confirmed you can swap Claude for Grok for a local model without rebuilding anything. New custom skills take about 1 hour by pasting API docs. And the Obsidian memory layer keeps accumulated business context alive across sessions so agents don't lose their minds after a restart. And here's where ChatGPT Computer Use clearly wins. OpenAI's brand trust and safety infrastructure are real for enterprise teams that need vendor accountability. It's GUI native, clicking, typing, navigating browsers, which Hermes doesn't do. There's no self-hosting burden, so teams without DevOps capacity can skip the Next.js setup entirely. And OpenAI's compliance posture matters a lot in regulated industries. So here's the decision rule. If you want to get your hands dirty today, you're a developer, you're comfortable, self-hosting, and cost matters. Go with Hermes Agent OS because it's the only one you can actually run right now. But if you need GUI automation, vendor accountability, or you're in a regulated industry and can't manage your own infrastructure, wait on ChatGPT Computer Use and watch for when OpenAI opens it up wider.